All right, welcome. Thank you for you being here today. I don't know where you're at right now. I don't know if you're at your home, you're listening to this in the car, or you're washing the dishes. I listen to podcasts when I wash the dishes. Oh, panis artista, nagugas ng pinggan. Hey, that's me. But today, I realized that with where I'm at right now, it would be very like dishonoring to the people that I'm asking if I don't first share mine. Like, if I'm gonna be asking the intimate details of your life, I should be willing to do that myself. So, with that being said, no, wherever you're at, thank you for being here today, for taking the time to actually listen to this, and my hope that through this, I don't know, that your day would be a little different. I pray that today, through whatever things we get to share, I have my thoughts and my notes, but I really hope that something changes for you, not because of me or this show, but I just hope you end up smiling or you end up feeling lighter today. So with that being said, I actually want to talk about drum roll. Oh wait, pause. No drum roll. I'm not alone today, guys. I actually have a team. Let's go. Say hello, team. Yeah. Wait, let me introduce you. This is Fiona. Hey, Fio. This is Serene. This is Tristan and Rafa. Yes. They are the amazing team that have helped me dream and helped me believe for more. And I love you guys very, very much. All right, drum roll, please. What's the topic for today? We're talking about weakness. Panis. Yes, I'm gonna be talking about specifically my weaknesses and my struggles. And I want to be honest and vulnerable to you guys in a sense, or in a way that I've never done before. Because I never thought there was a way to actually do it or a place to do it appropriately. So I actually want to start off with telling you guys a story. And disclaimer, because I don't like talking to just the camera, my team and everyone here, they're going to be talking back to me. So if you hear their voices, just think about it like this is like a family gathering, just a hangout. I want to make this it's not like throw out a hallelujah. No, I just want it to be like as conversational as possible, and it's weird to do that in a room with just 5 people. So we're like, I'm trying to like just make this like a conversation. So you guys are welcome to join the conversation. So they're gonna be talking to me throughout the episode, just so I don't feel like I'm giving a speech to you, because I'm not here to give you a speech. Awesome. Great. So the team knows this. There's a man in my life. He's my boss, actually, one of my many bosses. But he's also there to help me. And he goes by the name of Direk Lauren Jogi, a.k.a. Laurenti Jogi, a.k.a. the director, Direk Lauren. So he heads Star Magic. He looks after the production in ABS-CBN. He does so much. He is the captain of the ship in so many different ways. But I want to go back to 2019. I think it was 2018 or 2019. Did you guys? I told you guys this, right? I did a show where I dressed up as a bat. You know that? You want me to I can show you a picture. You want me to show you a picture?
Yeah.
It was called. You don't.
Show us.
We all remember. Woo! It was called Hiwaga ng Kambat. Basically, like, anyway, I dressed up as a bat. It was really unique. I had fight scenes. This was me.
Really? You had fight?
Yeah. Can you see this? Can you? We can't. We have to zoom in, right? But anyway, Tristan is our editor, so Tristan is actually gonna edit in a picture right now. So I'll show it. There you go. That's me.
Wow.
If you actually look close enough, I'll send you a screenshot of this, Tristan, so you can just insert it. But there's sweat on my lip. You know how hard it is to like. There's sweat on my lip, in this picture. I was really sweating, but during that time, I actually got called into Direct Lauren's office, which doesn't happen much. I felt like I was going to the principal's office. I thought I was in trouble. I was like, I've screwed up. Something's over. Because like, that's your boss calling into the office. Why would he call you? And Direct Lauren, if you're watching this, I love you. Thank you so much for all you've done. He's been with me overseeing my journey since PBB, so that's almost 10 years at this point. Actually, at this point, it will just be over 9 years when you guys see this. So he called me into his office, and he sat me down. And I remember just being nervous, but he just really just sat down. And again, this is not like a board meeting. It's in his office in ABS. Very intimate space. Like, again, I could tell it was just his place, his office. And he sat me down and he's like, hey, Edward, I've been seeing some tweets, just being around this. And at that point, I'd been in the industry a couple years, maybe 2-3 years. And a lot of these tweets, I wish we could find them, Vio. I really wish we could, but I don't know. We can try. But a lot of them were commenting on my behavior in and around work. Kind of, they were commenting on how I was being as a guy. I wouldn't even really say a man at that point, but like just say like for the sake of how I was acting as a guy, as a man. Parang aso daw, in the sense that I would always follow. For all of those who know, I was part of a love team, which in the Philippines is an amazing concept of working together with someone. I don't really even know how to describe it. Like, how would you guys describe it? Long story, I think most people would understand what a love team is. Yeah. I'm saying that because we might have viewers that are outside of the Philippines. So it's basically like a shipped couple. Yeah. And and so Mai was the girl that I worked with, but she was also a friend of mine. We started in a show called PBB together. Most people would probably, if you're watching this, would probably know that. But we started together, and I really didn't know what I was doing most of the time. I don't think I've ever really told you guys this. So a lot of it was, Fiona knows all of this, but like, I don't know. It was weird because I was in a space where like I didn't know how to handle stuff. So it's like you just cling on to what you feel comfortable with. Yeah. So what I was clinging on to was like, well, Mai's my friend. She's also my love team. I work together with her. It's like clinging on for dear life. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I feel safe here. And so that was a unique time. And I feel like I was just trying to find some sense of stability. And that was one of the most stable things, just like the person I would work with. So para daw akong aso na sumusunod kay Maymay. Like to translate, it's like a dog that always follows around its master. Which, to be honest, probably right. Like I was just trying to stay afloat at that time. But Direct Lauren, being actually an intentional boss, called me in. He's like, "Hey, I've been seeing this, and I want to talk about you. Like, how are you?" And talking about I don't know if that's how the conversation started, but that's what I remember. It was a while back. It's like over 5 years ago that we had this conversation. And it started me on a path of like, what is it to be, like, what does it mean to be a man? Like, what does it mean to be a guy? What does it mean to be, and now I would use the language like of a leader. Like, what does it mean to be a leader in the space that you're in? And so like, he did challenge me. Like, he asked me all these questions and I answered. I realized, so do you guys ever realize that guys are very do? Women are very different. I mean, like, but in the sense of like guys, the question that we'll always have in our hearts is like, can I do it? Like, can I provide enough? Am I man enough? Like, do I go, like, all these things that center around the thought of doing something. So if you give a guy something to build, he'll build it. But it's and I don't want to speak for women because I don't really know. But for a woman, based off what I've learned off counseling, the question in a woman's heart is, am I beautiful? Am I enough? It's more of the identity. But for men, it's like, what can I provide, right? So whether you agree with that or not, I mean, just look around the world. It's pretty common. It's a tension that everyone feels like. Like if I were to date a girl, I would be worried at some points about like, I don't know how to drive yet. What is she gonna think about that? You know what I mean? Anyway, it's about doing. So I was like, okay, what do I have to do? So I kept on telling him the stuff I was doing to prove that I was a man. Which, if you're not really aware, it just sounds like you're saying, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. And I think his question was more, who are you right now? Who are you, not what are you doing? Does that make sense? I think we connect a lot of the things of like what we do. At least for me, I was connecting a lot of the stuff that I did to who I was. So I told him like, yeah, I'm going to the gym with these guys. I'm like, and so he was just challenging, I think lovingly, my independence. He was challenging who I was, just by asking, just by inquiring. And I really appreciated that. Actually, I didn't appreciate it at the time because I kind of felt like he was just like questioning who I was. Yeah. But for me, I meant more of like, who am I becoming? I think that's what he was asking. So it really set me on this path of realizing that. And I kind of wanted to share it with everyone listening today because, I mean, again, I said this before. It's just like a space of you're learning who you are, and that's okay. But for me at least, and I have notes to be honest. I don't know if we're gonna do stuff with this, but I just want to try and tell the story as much as I can. If you guys have questions, just like just write it on a phone and or just speak it out because I wanna. You guys are my live proof of what everyone watching might be feeling. So that was a time where it messed me up a little bit. Not what the conversation was, but I actually want to backtrack to when I was growing up because it made me realize that I had issues. And I don't know if people can relate. I'm just going to throw in this out just in case people might be able to relate to what I'm feeling. But I grew up in a space where I didn't really know who I was. So, like, I knew I was the son of Kevin Barber and Catherine Barber. But I didn't really know what it meant. So, I actually wanted to talk about, like, identity in a sense. I kind of feel like I'm cringing as I say this because I'm like, people talk about this so much. And we're in a space where we talk about it a lot.
Yeah.
Knowing who I was in the industry at a young age. So for those who may not know, I started at 16, or just to recap, I started show business at 16. I didn't finish high school. I didn't go to college. That also used to be an insecurity of mine. But I feel like school of hard knocks, school of life, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I started at a young age. I'm 25 now as of shooting this. And that's 9 years in show business. And it taught me a lot, but made me realize a lot of my weaknesses growing up were not cured by show business.
Yeah.
They were amplified by show business.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. So I feel like a lot of us have the question, or at least I did at the time, of like, who am I? Like, and that question with Direct Lauren really, that conversation with Direct Lauren really kind of exposed that in the sense of like, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was kind of just floating in this industry. I don't know if people can relate to that. Like, is that what do you guys think? Is that like a thing around nowadays where people just don't, like, they're just floating? Like Serene just finished high school. She's about to go to college. And did you ever feel that? Like you're floating? Okay.
I'm floating right now.
So she's floating right now. But yeah, I really felt that at least. And I kind of figure, I'm fiddling now. When I fiddle, I'm trying to think of something to say. And I kind of feel like often we kind of revert to what do we do? Like what are we doing relates to who we are. And so I actually want to talk, maybe I'll share about this. I grew up for so many years in show business as really, really insecure. And that may sound like such a nice thing to say, but like, you've probably heard people say that in show business before, like, oh, I was insecure when this happened. But let me be specific if I can. I just want to be specific with you guys. Mama and I started at a time where we got to a very high position in show business, I feel, in terms of fame and success, without having earned it, right? And I would tell this to my parents, and my dad would be like, no, but like you were on PBB and you stayed in that house. You did stuff to get there. Like you didn't just get this handed to you.
Yeah.
But I actually want to shout out Alexa Ilacad. Alexa, I think you're amazing. But I remember how long I know how hard and how long Alexa has been working in this industry. And I remember getting out of PBB and seeing Alexa, and I didn't really know her at the time, but I kind of heard that she'd been working. She was in Going Bulilit. She was there since like a young age, like I don't know, 4 or 6 years old. I started at 16. She'd been working for 10 years when I started. That's insane. And she knew how to sing. She knew how to act. She'd put in the hours. But suddenly, I was at like, people are following us. People are giving us jobs. We're getting movie offers, teleserie, like we're getting brand deals. And it's like, what did we do? We stayed in a house with a microphone and cameras for 5 months. That's what we did. And so it's like, I really didn't feel like we earned it. And I really knew that we didn't have the skill to be there. My mind was so much more talented than I am. Like, naturally talented. And to be honest, I actually want to say this. And this is not me being modest. Please don't, like, if you do, it's fine. But like, I have a friend called Jared. Jared, I love you. Jared is a guy that, he's my number one, like he's a guy that I love, but he will bash the heck out of me, like lovingly. And he's the first one that would jump. Like if I was in a fight, he's the first one that would jump in, and protect me.
Sure,
like I'm pretty sure. Everyone knows Jared here, by the way. So Jared, he's gonna be so arrogant. that he's got shout out on the.
IG story.
That's why I'm not gonna say his last name. But Jared, I love you. But Jared, he makes jokes with me sometimes. Nah, bro, like, you're not even talented. Why are you in show business?
Oh my god.
Oh my
And so,
God.
and again, to those who know Jared, like,
Yeah.
it makes sense. Like, we know him, and but he's blunt like that. And before, to be honest, stop making me laugh. I would have been insecure at one point, but recently he actually said that recently. I'm like, you know what, bro? Like, yeah, like, I agree. I actually agree with him. Like, if you look at the skill and talent that I have, or like the gifts that I had naturally compared to a lot of other people, I don't know why the heck I'm here. Now I'm here now because I think I've stayed long enough. But initially, I'm like, I really didn't. Like, I even told the producers of PBB, please don't make me act. Please don't make me dance. Sorry, please don't make me sing and dance. Ano yung unang task sa PBB? What's the first task in PBB? Was dancing. I'm like, oh gosh, frick. But I'm here now. But sorry, the reason I brought up that is because I kind of looked at what I was able to do. Again, going back to that thought of like what I could do, as all that, as why am I here? But the insecurity really got to me in a sense because I remember our first movie, Loving in Tandem, which, what a name, by the way. Like, it was inspired by riding in tandem. Like, I was like, is that a good way to start our careers of like, But Loving in Tandem was our first movie. I remember how bad, like, shout out to Direct Giselle Sanchez. I think that's her name. Direct Giselle, I love you. That was her first time fully directing a production. And it was our first time acting. And I remember, like, for context, did I say this in another episode? Sorry, we don't shoot these in order, just for context. I'm being vulnerable, like real with you. But this will be our first episode. Did I say this in the other one? About the amount of takes it took?
Yeah.
Yeah, right? So, long story short, usually for a professional who knows what they're doing, maybe up to 3, like maybe 4 or 5 takes. I think that's very safe.
Mhm.
Maybe 3, 4 if you're really good. But I was taking 17 takes just to wake up. All I had to do was lie down, get up, look around me, and then lie down again. 17 freaking takes. Like, I almost made the vein in my director's head pop. Like, why can't you do this? And so, like, we were in such a position of, I think, power and influence at such a young age with no experience on how to be there, that I just felt like I was disrespecting everyone around me. Because I'm like, you've worked hard to be where you are. Suddenly, I'm in a position to have way more than you do, and I haven't done anything to be here. And so that kind of gnawed at me for a very long time. And I had this thought as I was writing down my notes. Let me know, you guys, if you agree with this. I think insecurity is a form of pain. You know what I mean? Like, it's a thing that gnaws at you. And I know everyone has their own brand of pain and insecurity. But I realized as I was going through this, and all I can tell you is, how I've lived and what I've learned. And if that helps you, then God bless. Great. So, but I learned this kind of as I was on the way, that I realized that a lot of what we do in life is a response to pain. That makes sense? So, like, pain is like a stimulus. It's a feeling. It can be emotional, mental, physical. But usually when we're in pain, the question is, how do we get away from it, right? Like, I don't know about you, a lot of times where I've struggled. Even when I've prayed, I'm like, Lord, please, I don't want to do this. Like, can you make it stop? And it's usually like, Lord, take me out of this. Like, I don't want to be in this. But pain actually, like, kind of teaches you stuff and actually molds you. But I realized a lot of the bad things that I've done in my life have been in response to pain in some form. And I think growing up, like, I grew up in a place. I have amazing parents. Don't get me I will always honor my parents. I have amazing parents. But my dad was working a lot, and my mom worked hard to take care of us. And sometimes I just like I grew up as a sensitive child as well, and I wanted to talk about how I felt, but I didn't always feel like I had a space to talk about that. And that's a very like Gen Z thing,
Yeah.
like older like what would they call it? Boomers, like the boomer era, the millennials. They
Yeah.
didn't really like they grew up, and it's normal. I'm not trashing millennials. Like you just didn't talk about your feelings,
Yeah.
and I get it. It's okay. But for me, I kind of when you have a lot of stuff inside you and you don't know where to put it. I was talking to a friend recently, um, and this person went through a lot of pain, lost a lot of people at a young age, a lot of grief. And this person actually shared all the different ways that they ran from it. And they actually described they remember a period of their life where the world literally had less color.
Wow.
Like they didn't see color the same way.
Crazy.
And so this was a time of grief. This was a time of depression. Um, and I remember a similar period of my life where everything was kind of blurry. Like the first 2 years of my career, I was like a robot. I remember lying in bed in a small 20 square meter condo in QC after exiting PBB the night of leaving PBB. My mom and dad had booked a unit in a small condo near ABS, and I remember lying in bed with her and being like, "Mom, I don't know what I'm feeling right now. Like everything just seems like a blur." And it was not an exciting, "Whoa, this is a blur." This was like, I don't have a grasp on what's happening right now. So for the first 2 years of my career was like a whirlwind of, you got to do this, okay. This is your next project, all right. Like you have to perform here, okay. Like, and it was just, but like it built up the. I don't know what I'm feeling. I don't have time to feel what I'm feeling. I don't understand I don't know how to label what I'm feeling. And at one point, I kind of just like crashed. And no one ever saw it in the sense of like the industry, the mainstream seeing it. But maybe people saw it in small ways. Like there's a lot of, I don't know, reactive. I leaked a lot. It was overflowing, and like people can kind of sense it, but I didn't know how to deal with it. And so I realized I ran to a lot of things, but I ran to the things that I was running to even before show business. And a lot of those things for me were, like throughout the years, I actually want to go back to it. A lot of people think show business is such an area where, like, there's a lot of evil. I feel like that's the connotation around show business. Like, dang, if you go there, you get power and money, and there's drugs and women partying. To be honest, in my experience, haven't confronted it half as much as people might think. But you can find it if you're looking for it. But to be honest, you can find it anywhere. You know what I mean? Like if you go, like, from what I've heard about people who go to like universities. Sup, Tristan? You're right. Drop the bottle. But if you go to, like, I've heard stories from people who go to university, and like, it's just as prevalent there. Like whatever you think is in college, it's probably what it's there in show business. Just like anywhere. I don't like. I could be wrong. Maybe other people have different experiences than me, but that's what I felt, at least. Like it's pretty similar. Why did I bring that up? But here's what showbiz did. Just to recap it before I talk about it. If whatever I was struggling with before show business, my addictions, my insecurities, my fears, my lack of maturity, I thought show business, success, money, influence would cure it, because it's like the natural reaction.
Yeah.
Like if I have less of confidence, what do I need to do to get my confidence? I need to give myself a reason to be confident.
Yeah.
So, right? So if I get successful, maybe I'll be more confident.
Yeah.
I thought those things. Like if I need human connection. I want someone to love me. You know what I mean? Which my parents worked very hard to do that, and I did feel loved, very much so. But sometimes in the sense of, like, you know, my dad's away, my mom's working hard. Sometimes, like, there's no one to actually just connect with. If I need human connection, I don't know how to get it. So how do I do that? Ooh, followers is a great way to do that. You know, not all people will like hear me and see me and all that stuff. So it's like, I thought that would cure it. It actually didn't cure it. It made it worse. Like, And it was weird to me because I'm like, wait, why is this happening? Like, I'm getting what I thought I needed, and things aren't working. And so that's where I I kind of started going downhill, I think, because there's an excitement in the chase of like success, and there's a fulfillment, a false fulfillment in a sense of like when you, like I remember doing movie premieres, and we would finish the movie and you're like, cool, the trailer's coming out and people are gonna see you. You have a movie premiere at, I don't know, SM Mega Mall or whatever, or Dolphy Theater in ABS, and then people see you and the media talks to you for about 30 minutes, and you see your movie is showing in 100 cinemas nationwide for 2 weeks, and then it's done. Like I remember getting home from the movie premiere and being like, "Oh man, that's it." But there's a story of a girl that I admire. I think she's one of the best singers in the industry, but very underrated. She told me about how she won an award, and she'd been chasing that award. She got to perform at the award ceremony, and she messaged me out of nowhere, and this was years and years and years ago. She said, "I don't know what I'm feeling. I feel empty." And she'd been chasing this for so long. And I instantly understood what she was talking about. I'm like, I know. I didn't know what to say because I was like, I know what that feels like. And anyway, so a lot of the things that I started doing were in a response to that feeling. So I thought showbiz would cure it. Like it's weird how you could actually earn more money and be more afraid of losing security in your life. Like I've had moments where I've cried with people and I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay for stuff here, and then they help me like, okay, I'm gonna help you plan out your finance. Then they realize what I have in the bank, and don't get me wrong, I'm not like this light right here, 50,000, 60,000, 30,000, 30,000. That's insane. That's like 110,000 pesos. I didn't buy that. We have very amazing people. Shout out to Miles. We're gonna put in the details. Can we run this down? We'll put in the details. If you guys want to rent lights, this is a guy to do it from. This venue, we've been very blessed by Siesta to be able to shoot here. These cameras lent to me by friends. I'm like, we're frugal. We're trying to be smart with money, but I'm not like, let me buy you a condo, baby girl. Like nothing like that. I don't know why I said that. That's so dumb. But you guys get what like people like you don't understand how easy it is. It's easy to earn money in showbiz. It's hard to keep it, and it's hard. Like I don't know. There's so much I could talk about that. And if you want to keep on chasing it, like I just don't want money to be my goal. And I lived enough of that. Anyway, like money won't give you that security. Like, and so I thought that if I wanted more human connection, then I could get that through show business. Total lie. Like I remember on my birthday, 1,000 people saying happy birthday and I love you. I felt not like it didn't help me. And I came across something years later that helped me think about it. And I was like, oh man, what if, like, why isn't this actually shifting stuff for me? And that's when I started trying to, I don't know. I remember my first shot I ever had was at a Star Magic party. And it was handed to me by a veteran artist, and I remember just wanting to be cool so much that I took 1, I took 3, took 4, kept on trying to down it just so I could be that one of the guys. Thank goodness I didn't go further. But I definitely, well, that night at least, I had dumb mistakes. But I remember all I did was just like, you just want to be part of something. And I remember this quote, and I hope I remember it as I say it, but I remember just feeling like the more you want to be part of something, the less you'll actually feel part of something. Yeah. Because you've then shifted who you are to fit in. You know what I mean? And I'm like, that hit me really hard. And yeah, I don't know. A lot of what I did was in response to that type of pain. Does that make sense? Yeah. I don't know if people are feeling it. I'm trying to wrestle if I share some stuff. All right, I'll share it. This is very taboo in the Philippines. I want to talk about pornography. Simple as that. I think can we pull up a stat on this? Or can you look it up? What's the divorce rate? Divorce rate due to pornography. I think it's like, there was a fact check this. Do not take this as hard fact. Do not quote me. But I remember hearing something about like 80% of marriages that end in divorce. I think 70 to 80%. It's because one party is addicted to pornography, something like that. And so I feel like people are either going to click off the video right now or they're going to be freaked out that I'm actually talking about this. But this is a silent epidemic that so many people are going through. 50%, 56%?
Right?
I remember someone talked about this in like a mental health workshop. But long story short, it's whatever your opinions on it are, whatever you're freaking out, like whatever it is, it's a very fast way of feeling control and connection for a moment, right? That's what it is. It's an escape and it's a relief. All of that. And so if you're trying to get that, it's really easy in this day and age, but it's a number one lead of like one of the top, sorry, not number one, but one of the top things that could mess you up internally, mess up relationships. It can kill marriages. It can kill connection. So, like, I'm not even talking, like, everyone knows I think everyone would know I'm a Christian and that I don't subscribe to that. But don't even take it from like a faith point of view. Yeah. Like for those of you freaking out because you heard about it in church or growing up or your parents said don't do it, don't even think about that because of like Jesus. Just think about it for now, at least statistics. Like, you know, science is proving now what the church has been saying for a long time. But again, that's a different topic. So I'm saying like those things were like, you know, it's instant connection, instant relief. Anyway, those are just one of the many things that I ran to. Fear, what I would run to. I ran to vacations. Just like anything I could do to get away. Ran to the wrong people. I hung out with the wrong crowds. God bless them if they're watching this, but you know that we were in the wrong place and they're doing the wrong things. Yeah. It did mess me up and it did make me think a certain way. I'm trying to look at what are my notes, but I basically ran to the things that I thought would really help me, and it didn't. And I remember being so focused on how people saw me. I was the type of guy that had perfume all the time, mints all the time. I would bring it with me everywhere just because I wanted people to always give a good impression. And I realized there's a story in the Bible, and whether you believe in the Bible, you love Jesus or not, let me just share this story. Put your bias away for 1 second. There's a story of a guy called David, and everyone knows King David killed Goliath, all this stuff. But there's a story before that where David, he says, "Man, I'm gonna get this guy basically. Who is this giant who's insulting my God?" And he kind of walks out. He says, "I'm going to take care of this. No one else is doing it. I'm going to do it." And then the king, his name is Saul, says, "All right, cool. I'll give you my armor." And David puts on the armor. And it's like, again, if you're a king, you got the best armor that the whole kingdom can afford. So it's very good armor, good quality. But he puts it on, and it doesn't fit. And it doesn't fit him well. And so he ends up taking it off and says, "No, I'm going to do what I've been used to." And I've heard people preach on this story before. And basically, they have so many different points you could say. But I remember, just to use that story, I remember times where I definitely put on armor that didn't fit me just to make it look. Like David could have put on that armor and like made himself look like he was qualified because he's wearing the flippin' king's armor. But I remember a lot of times where I started doing things just because I wanted people to see me a certain way. And again, it's all response to pain. Like if the pain of like not being accepted by people, I started doing things that I hope would get me to be accepted by them, whether it be drinking or just even like cursing. I you know what I regret? I regret this a lot. And I try I try every day not to do anything, but I really regret, and I genuinely, I hate it now. I hate the way I used to talk about women, or I used to look at women. Um, and I'm not talking like, let's be real here. I've had, there have been, all you have to do is look on Google search, and there'll be like a bunch of rumors and stuff. And maybe one day I'll get to clear all of that stuff. I did not sleep around. I can tell you that. I never cheated. But I actually want to talk about. I didn't think this is not in my notes. Tell me if I'm going. Fiona's like the producer of this, so in a sense, so like tell me if I'm going too far. But I think this is okay. I actually really hate the way guys casually talk about women. I'm talking about sitting around the table with your boys, playing video games with your boys, the inuman setup, and you're just on your phone. You're like, oh, bro, look at this, like that type of, or just like the jokes I used to make. I regret the jokes I used to make because I realized at the core of it how objectifying it was. And I hope it's not making people uncomfortable. I hope it's making guys uncomfortable too.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I'm saying this is something I daily try not to do. And I want to imagine, I've actually put a post about this out years ago. Because I remember my sister walked down the street and she got whistled at. And I'm like, what the frick, man? Like, who are you that you just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I know the women can relate. I don't know if, like, Tristan and Rafa don't do this. Like, we wouldn't hang out if they did this. But I just remember how much, no, like, for now I can see it. Like, for context, a lot of us work, I don't want to say work, spend a lot of time with young people because we go to church together. We serve in our church. Tristan's part of the young adult community, which is like 18 to 25. Rafa as well. Serene and Fiona, they spend a lot of time with teenagers, helping them walk through life, helping them not go through the same stuff that we went through. And up until like now, I'm in the kids ministry. I get to look with, and so it's like we all do a lot of stuff with young people, and I just remember thinking like, man, if I had a daughter one day, and someone was talking about my daughter the way I'm talking about this woman right now, or the way like even saving pictures on your phone, screenshotting stuff, saving something to album on Instagram, like you've just turned a human being into an object for your pleasure. And I realize that's the heart of pornography. That's the heart of all that. And sometimes you don't say it's evil, but if you think about it for a second, I'm like, so that's one thing I regret. Like, I really regret that. And if I could apologize to everyone, I have. But I think, I mean, I just want to sit with it for a moment because, like, it breaks my heart in a sense that, man, it's so normal. It's so casual. And I don't blame people because it's just, again, it's so normal. It's so casual that people don't even realize it sometimes. But if you actually heard yourself talking about it, and someone talked about your kid that way, you would hate that guy. You'd hate the person. You want to beat him up, but it's so casual. So that's one of the things I regret. And again, we're talking about weakness today. And I don't want to spend so much time on all of this that I don't tell you what changed and, shift this stuff in me. In 2020, I think, actually, let's talk about it now. I was going to say this not save it, but maybe share it in a different episode. 2020, I just made some dumb mistakes. But I broke up with my girlfriend at the time. And I'll leave that to people's imagination, who you think that is. My response to that pain led me to do things that I regret. Again, I never slept around, never cheated. But I did, in my head and my heart, objectify the wrong things. And definitely felt the repercussions of it. To a degree where I'm like, man, I don't even know if I'm going to come back from this. Not even, like, I'm not even talking about what people think about me. I'm talking about me in relationship to myself. And that's around the time that I was already meeting a guy called Jesus. not like actual Jesus. I mean like the Lord of and and I could go into that whole story, but I don't feel like I need to at the moment. I just want to read something that's actually written in the Bible that I wish I knew this sooner. Yeah, there's someone who played a video outside. That's completely the wrong timing. But I just want to read this. And again, please, for a moment, I don't know what you believe, but I just need to tell you what happened in my life. I want to read from, it doesn't matter what book it is, to be honest. There's a verse in the Bible, though, and it says, He has planted eternity, which in brackets is a sense of divine purpose in the human heart. And this is what I want you guys to realize today. It says this, eternity in the human heart, and it describes it. It says, a mysterious longing which nothing under the sun can satisfy except God. Yet man cannot find out, comprehend, or grasp what God has done, aka his overall plan from the beginning to the end. And that might not make sense, but I just want to focus on that there is a mysterious longing which nothing under the sun can satisfy. And when I read that years after finding Jesus, I'm like, that's exactly what I was feeling. That's exactly what I spent my life chasing with community, pornography, anything to fill it. Like I just felt like I had a God-shaped hole in my heart and nothing could fill it. And I remember reading a quote years later from a man called C.S. Lewis. This is the writer and the creator of Narnia. He said this, if I find in myself desires which nothing in this world can satisfy, the only logical explanation is that I was made for another world. And I was supposed to find a verse about how God says, this and that. But to be honest, the great thing about Jesus is that with him, after death, there's new life. Like, I actually have a shoelace. Can I borrow, Fiona, actually Tristan, can you throw me your shoe? I didn't think I was gonna do this. Yeah. I'm gonna take off the shoelace. I don't know. I didn't plan to do this, guys. Forgive me.
And then smell your hand after.
Dang, bro. That's the setup. Like we spent hours setting this up. But if you think about it, we'll zoom this in post edit. Yeah. Okay, Tristan's gonna do it now. But like, if you think about it, like this is our life. This little plastic piece. I learned from Phineas and Ferb. This is called the aglet. You know, aglet, A-G-L-E-T, aglet. Anyway, that's not how the song goes. But that's our life here on Earth. And then this whole thing, never ending until the rest of the shoe and even more, is our life with Jesus. Yeah. Should you want that? You know what I mean? Here you go, Tristan. You can take your shoe back now. Sorry, I have to tie that again. But he talks about there's life eternally with Jesus if we want that and we say yes to that. Got to say yes to it though. It's a free gift and all that. And I remember just being like, man, this makes more sense to me now. And then again, C.S. Lewis, if you guys have ever watched the Chronicles of Narnia, Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, all of that other stuff. Yeah. I didn't realize my whole life. I remember loving that movie. I didn't realize that Aslan was represents Jesus and God. I was like, that's mind blowing. Yeah. And so C.S. Lewis wrote that. And there's another verse, or not verse, another quote that I remember. I'm actually not going to quote as many verses because I don't know how you guys are going to react to that. But there's a quote from a guy called St. Augustine. And he said, "You have made us for yourself, O Lord, and that our hearts are restless until they rest in you." Wow. I remember being like, man, why don't I have rest? I would wake up nights. I wouldn't be able to sleep because I was anxious. Because as soon as that Viber messenger notification came up, I'd freak out. And I say all this, like I'm doing this episode because I feel like I would be lying to you guys if I didn't share all this. And I feel like I would be lying and dishonoring every guest that would come on this podcast if I didn't first share what I've gone through or share the journey that I've been on or share what's really happened in my life. Like, what right do I have to ask you about your life? Or to help you share your story if I am not willing to first do mine? I feel like that's like a hypocrite. Like, you know what I mean? And so, if you today actually are just feeling something similar, I actually wrote this down, and forgive me, it's my job to speak as a host and to be professional in this, but I wrote this down. If you're struggling with your identity today, could I encourage you that maybe your very struggle is the proof that you're meant for something more? That God has more for you, and that it's the proof that maybe you, just like I once was, are looking for the right things in the wrong places. See, I realized that I would look to my relationships around me, the finances in my bank account, the materials in my hands or on my feet I would wear, the places that I stayed, the things that I did, for my source of love, joy, peace, power, rest. I actually reached what I felt was the heights of show business, at least as much as I could have at the time. And my reward was restlessness. Yeah. And I just want to stand here today, and I can't, this is not a Christian podcast, it's just a podcast ran by a Christian and Christians. And I would be lying to you if I didn't say Jesus saved my life and changed it and wrote a new story. I saw this movie, I forgot what it's called. It's about cowboys. And they said this phrase of, what's lost in the fire will be found in the ashes. And my life burned down when I made mistakes. And if you know some of my story, you'll know. But my life burned down. And it burned down on the inside. People didn't know what was going on. But I felt like I reached the heights, and restlessness was my reward. But to anyone, if you feel like any of this I've said has resonated with you, you feel in any semblance of anything that you understand or you connect, or if there's even a thought in your head, I give that same message to you. I actually want to read one last quote. It's actually, I think, a poem called Nearer. And it's actually by the same guy who wrote Narnia. It says this: if you want to get warm, you must stand near the fire. If you want to get wet, you must get into the water. If you want joy, peace, power, eternal life, you must get close to or even into the thing that has them. I don't know how else to end this than to pray. No, we're not going to do that. But does that make sense? Yeah. Like, that hit me when I was writing this. I just want to say, like, man, God has changed my life. And I'm not talking about kneeling on a wooden pew and praying something 3 times, 7 times. I'm talking about an actual presence of, like, you know, I was reading a book yesterday, and let's just talk about facts. Let's talk about history. In any country, anytime that the army of that nation has seen their king or monarch, like the leader of the nation, it boosts their morale. It boosts, like, it changes the, like, they're like, that's the king. He's here. Yeah. Like, it just adds something to them. It's like, you know, like when your boss is in the room and you actually like your boss. Like, let's say when you actually like your boss. Like, they enter the room and you're like, okay, the leader is here. I know everything's going to be good. Like, you feel encouraged, you feel stronger. Bible says that Jesus isn't dead. Like, he died, but he didn't stay dead. And the great thing about, you know, whatever God you believe in, I know mine's still alive. Like, you know what I mean? A lot of people hear about, you know, people that died, and they still do that. And that's, you know, what you believe. But I believe that my God didn't stay dead. And the beautiful thing about the presence of God is that God, although he lived, like Jesus, although he walked the earth 2,000 years ago, which is historically proven. Yeah. Like, no matter what you believe, there's proof that he did. There was a man named Jesus who walked the earth. Yes, there's someone opening the door. Hello. Hi. Yeah.
Who's your mom?
Oh, it's my mom?
Yeah.
What's up, Mom? And she's walking away. Great time. Yeah, so whatever you believe, like, it's historically proven that Jesus walked the earth. The cool thing is we didn't have to live 2,000 years ago just to encounter him. We can still encounter him today. Yeah. So that's my message. You want to get warm, stand near the fire. You want to get wet, jump into the water. But if you're looking for peace today, joy, love, rest, whatever it may be, maybe we need to get close to or even into the thing that has all of them. So, Father, we pray, whoever's here, if they have ears, let them hear. If they have eyes, let them see. And God, thank you for what you've done. But that's my story. And I hope that whatever you're going through today, that you know you're not alone in what you face. If you need a community, I wish we had ways that we could just, like find a community. I don't know what it looks like to you. If you're struggling with something, open it up. You don't have to do this alone. Although it's easier to, sometimes it feels like it is. But I pray that today, whatever I shared helps you know that maybe whatever you're going through, you're not the only one going through it. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, welcome to the Painfully Human podcast. That is why we put this up. That is my story. It's a story of how God changed me, saved my life, turned it around. What was lost in the fire, he made something new in the ashes, from the ashes. He told my story, he rewrote it. The brokenness I had before, he flipped it to something good. Mm. If you're hearing this, maybe today you're like, but I don't know if God's real. I don't think he is, because if he's real, why did so many bad things happen to me? I don't have the answers, to be honest. But I have, without a doubt, experienced how God has taken some of the most broken parts of my life and somehow turned it for good. I don't know why it happened. I don't know what happened in your life, but I can tell you, God is that powerful that he can make something beautiful out of it. Yeah. So let it be today, Lord. Whatever they're feeling, whatever they're going through, would you give them peace right now? We love you, Lord. I love you guys. And I hope I don't get canceled. Actually, if I do, screw it. I don't care. I half care now. I'd rather that you listening feel something today that helps you than this world love me. You guys love me, right?
Yes.
It's okay. Even if you didn't, God loves me. All right. Cool. Let's end that. I'm done.